We have just want to start where we have stopped last time. Can you remember? I'll give you a small question. In fact, this is not my question. It is a law relating to banking, right? That the students who are doing the law may be at an advantage, but just to get an idea, right? So I just explained to you. Larry is a leading businessman, married twice and divorced both wives, and he had four children. Now, some of the question is not in your handout, right? Just I'll give you for just to understand. I had four children in both such marriages, and he made a last will, leaving all his bank fixed deposits in finance companies, banks, company shares, his life insurance policy to his children. Right now, after making the last will, he got married to a foreign lady, another lady, third marriage. What a nice person he is, no? And new months later, suddenly died. Now, Larry's children claim based on the last will. Now, Larry's widow, that means the foreign lady, disputes such claims. Now, what is the issue on this? Now, customer comes to you for asking with the last will to release the money to his children. But foreign lady, Larry's newly married lady, protests that. Now, what is the implication? Because now Larry has not made a what um, nomination. That's the issue, right? If you have done a nomination, no problem at all. Now, remember the important thing: the moment the the moment the moment uh, the children, Larry's children, has no right in this case. Why? Law relating to wills and succession in Sri Lanka, in terms of the, now I'm just telling you the some legal thing, but don't worry. Six of Prevention of Fraud Ordinance. What is the covering sections number 6? Prevention of Fraud Ordinance. A person, even he wrote a last will, once he married again, that will revoke. So therefore, that the last will he have put it to the his four sons is not going to materialize. So what is the best option you can suggest under such a circumstances? Preparations of or requesting bank to have nomination facility for two sons. Okay, so that's the case. So therefore, it is always better nomination. As I told you last time, the nomination will supersede last. Okay, right. So now we're moving to today's topic. Now, first, now you look at it. The first one, there's advertisements appear in the newspapers, right? There was an advertisement appear in the newspapers. Now, I have sent you the IBSL sent you the reason. You have now the Word document as well as the PowerPoint presentation. You take the latest PowerPoint presentation IBS has sent to you. Okay. Now your bank has, now read that advertisement carefully. Now your bank has placed an advertisement in the newspapers named double your investment in 5 years. Right? And what do you mean by that? That means if you put 100,000 now, so after 5 years, you get it 200,000. Now customer meets you, one of, as I say, bank manager or assistant manager, whoever, and asks further detail of this, as that customer is very interested in this product due to doubling the money. Now, what is the advertisement say? If you put 100,000 today, after 5 years, how much you're going to get it? 200,000. Now, the things they're asking, so what is the interest rate of the deposits we are offering to the customer? Second one, what is the effective interest rates of the deposits for that customer? Now, before that, I'm just want to tell you something. Now, say for an example, now you have option to look, point to the board. No, please do that, right? Okay. Now, say he's put 100,000 rupees, right? Okay. In order to get 200,000 rupees after 5 years, what you need to do? What is the interest is going to offer? Now, say the first year, right? What is the interest rate? 100,000 into, right? So he need to get at least 20,000 first year, second year 20,000, third year 20,000, fourth year 20,000, and fifth year 20,000. So then only you get 100,000. Now 100,000 your initial capital, the money you deposited with the bank, and interest component is 100,000. Now you get 200,000. So in this case, what is the normal interest? The interest rate, therefore, how much is 20%, right? If you work 20% like that, right, you get 20,000, like, right? 20,000, 20. The first year 20,000, second year 20,000, third year 20,000, fourth year 20,000, fifth year 20,000. So that is the normal interest rate you are going to get it, right? Okay, now as a responsible officer, you need to explain to your customer, right? You need to explain to your customer, basically, right? If the money invested is double in 5 years, suppose you put 100,000 rupees, that means banks pay 20% per annum at the maturity, right? Okay, so then 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 100,000. But you noted that something is missing here. Now you need to inform the customer, but you are losing something. What is that? The interest on interest. So Sinhala we call Valpuriya. Interest on interest income is not there. Now let's look at it down. So after first year, 100,000, 20,000 is getting. So what is his end of the year amount? 120,000. Okay. Now the second year, you need to get interest for, accordingly, you need to get, if you give it 20%, how much you are going to get it? Right? So more than 20,000. So here, then how much you're going to get it? 24,000. So likewise, we'll work it out like this. Second year, you need to add 120 to 24. What is that? Your total income? 144,000. Then 20. Then you add here amount, you add to this, and ultimately you are getting more than 100,000 if you are going to give to 20% for that, right? So that is what you call effective interest rates, right? Effective interest rate. But the first one, you won't get the interest on interest, right? But if you are going to get interest on interest, so that is annual effective rate. Right? Okay, just put down under that. So what do you mean by interest rate of the deposit? Okay, okay, just write down what I'm telling you now in that small piece, right? Okay, interest rates of the deposit. Okay, you under that you can say if the money invested is doubled in 5 years, comma, this means that the banks pay 20% per annum, 20% per annum, and the interest is paid, at maturity. Right? You can just put example 100,000, and as I show you like here, just put in that figure. That is what you call interest rates of the deposit if you want to get the double. Right. Now you can write under effective interest rates of the deposit. What do you mean by effective interest rates of the deposit? So under that you can write the effective interest rates of the deposit. The effective interest rate of the deposit is the interest rate that is actually earned on a fixed deposit, actually earned on a fixed deposit, due to the resulting result of compounding, compounding, compounding over a given time period. Now we understood the difference between interest rate of the deposit and effective interest rates of the deposit. Right? Now remember, in order to confuse the customer putting these two rates, the central bank is always instructed the banks and finance companies in Sri Lanka, wherever you put the interest rate as an advertisement, you compelled to use the annual effective rate as well. That means, in simply we call, what is that? AER, annual effective rate. AER, right? So whenever you see any advertisements pertaining to the interest rate published by any bank or any financial institution, you can see there is a within bracket or something they call the AER figure. Right. Now I want to give you a small thing. Now you need to remember this sort of a message in your memory. Right. First, now put down this also. Right. Okay. Just now for an example, again you just put it to the board. Right. I'll give you a small formula. Right. Suppose publish for an example, publish rate of interest for 1 year deposit, for example, 1 year deposit, say for an example is 10%. Right. Now you remember the next things. What is the next one? You say annual effective rate. The annual effective rate is equal to published rate. If for 1 year maturity, 1 year deposit, right? That means AER is equal to what? Normal published rate. Published rate for 1 year deposit. Right. So that's the first one. Second one. Suppose you put the money, right? Okay. Right. If you put the money for less than 1 year. Less than 1 year. Right? You put the money less than 1 year. Say 3 months, 6 months or something like that. Then what happened? AER is more than annual rate. That means it's more than 10%. Less than 1 year, more than 10%. Right. Third point. If your deposit is more than 1 year, what happened? AER is less than, AER is what you call less than 1 year. 1 year rate. That is 10%. Okay. Now you need to remember this. Now why I am telling you, I will give you some things, some questions. I will give you some question. Now then you can see the importance of that. Okay. Now remember this one. Okay. Got it? Right. Now say, now you see one advertisement you put, 1 year deposit is 10%, right? Then you say 3 months deposit is more, AER, annual effective rate is more than annual rate, that means more than, in this case, more than 10%, less than 1 year, sorry, equal to the annual rate to this one, but less than 1 year, AER is more than annual rate, that means more than 10%. And then third one, more than 1 year, if you to put the money, they say annual deposit rate is 10%, then the AER is less than 1 year rate of 10%. Right. Okay. Right. With this, right? Now you learn that one, right? I suppose. Okay. Now I will give you some question, but remember this question, it is not comes under financial client management. It's, you will learn some other subject, right? If you say commercial banking, now this question came commercial banking. Now the students are studying financial clients management have a better advantage answering other papers questions also, right? Okay, now let's look at it, this question. Now if a bank offers, now it is not your handout because it's not relevant, I mean not all these questions I have not put it just to understand right here. Now tell me the answer for this. If a bank offers 6% interest payable monthly, right? 6% payable monthly for saving deposit, what is the effective rate? Is they are not asking you to calculate the rate exactly. Now what they are asking is same as 6%. First one, AER is same as 6%, or less than 6%. Then another one is more than 6%. What may be the correct answer? Now here 6% interest is how we are getting on monthly basis. That means not annual rate. Right? Now suppose this bank is getting 6% annual interest rate for their savings. But they calculate the interest on monthly basis. Right now, say you deposit in a savings account 100,000. Right? Annual interest rate for that is 6%. But we are not wait till end of the year to calculate that. So you are calculating your interest on what basis? On monthly basis. So therefore, what is the effective interest rate out of this? It is more than 6%. That is your annual rate. 6% in here case 10%, right? 6%. It is same as 6%. If it is to be same as 6%, your interest has to be paid at maturity. What is that? After 1 year. Then 6% is equal to 6%. Right? Okay. Suppose if your now interest is paying where? Less than. Then what happened? It is more than 1 year. So therefore, the answer for this is what? More than 1 year. Okay, you got the answer, right? Now you have to remember this. What is AER is equal to annual rate if it is for 1 year. Okay, it is less than 1 year interest is paying you. That means your annual effective rate is more than 1 year rate. If the annual rate is 10%, for example, and your interest is paying at maturity after 2 years or 3 years like that, more than 1 year, your AER is less than 6%. Right. Now, I'll give you another same question. Now, can you answer this? Again, September 2018, commercial banking, right? Okay. Now, if you, what's maybe the correct answer for here? If a bank offer a 1 year fixed deposit, yeah, correct. You are paying, giving you 1 year fixed deposit, but pay interest 10% not at maturity. When the interest is paying 10% monthly. So what is the effective rate then? It is 10%, more than 10%, less than 10%, or nearly 15%. That you confuse, right? Okay, it should be ABC, right? So if it is for 10%, if answers to be A, what is how you're going to pay interest at maturity? That means after 1 year, right? Then A is correct. Instead of monthly, they put 10% at maturity. Second, more than 10%. So that is the correct answer. Why? Interest is paying monthly. That means less than 1 year. So therefore more than 10%. If it is to be less than 10 years, right, your interest going to pay after 1 year. So therefore, what is the correct answer? More than 10%. Right. And that's something I just want to tell you. You need to remember this, the relationship between annual effective rates and normal interest rate, annual rate, right? Now, with this, I told you something. Central Bank of Sri Lanka, under the customer charter, they have given instruction to all the financial institutions, and especially for all the banks and financial institutions. The moment they put an advertisement pertaining to the interest rate, always they have to show annual effective rates. Annual effective rates. Okay, right. Right. Now we move into the next area, and that is what you call investors. Right. Now, up to now we discuss who? The depositors. Right? Depositors. Now we are going to discuss investors, another type of customer, another type of clients. Investors. Now you have to be very carefully listen to me. Right. Yeah, our life is full of risk. No? Like that, investing in any market is all about risk. Right? Investing in money is all about involving in risk. So therefore, no investment is actually, it is not 100% safe or guaranteed, right? Okay. So therefore, the axiom is the greater the risk, greater the return or greater the reward. If you are going to take the risk, what you're expecting? We're expecting more return. So likewise, as I told you at the very beginning, so investors usually, based on their risk appetite, right? Investors, based on their risk appetite, can be divided into three categories, right? Remember, what is the important thing we need to learn here? Based on the risk appetite, අපි කියන සිංහලෙන් අවදාන රුචිය. අවදානම් රුචිය. Based on the investor's risk appetite, we can categorize all these investors into three units. What are the three units? Three units we call them as risk averse, right? One guy is risk averse, right? I will go to explain you what is the characteristics of a risk averse investor. Second, neutral. Risk neutral. What is the other type is what you call risk seeking. So we have identified three types of investors based on what? Their risk appetite. So one is risk averse, second guy is risk neutral, and third guy we call risk seeker or seeking investor. Right. Now let's look at it. Who is this risk seeking investor? Who is this risk seeking investor? Right. Let's look. Who is the risk seeking investor? Right. Now, the keener the investor is for risk, what he's expecting? Higher risk guaranteed payout. Now, what is expecting? So, if you're going to take more risk, because therefore he expecting a higher return, right? Then in Sri Lankan, some people, you want to take risk, right? Right? Those are the guys. We call them as risk-seeking investor, right? Then, if you really look at, if you want to have a diagram, right? Sometimes we risk investor, we call them as risk lover, right? Remember how you call another name for that? Risk lover. Now, if you really put the, just look at the diagram. If you want to put a diagram, you just throw there, right? The diagram is basically what you say, utility and income. We call here like this. This is side is utility, and this side is income. If you want to, how we behave, customer is behave like this. What is that? Risk lover is behave like this. This is what you call, what is the shape of the curve? We call concave shape. Concave shape behavior. Come down and is going down, right? Somewhere here, you can just put concave structure. Now, if you get a concave shape structure, for what type of investor? Who? The risk lover or risk taker, because he is going to take additional risk and therefore is going to take some additional return, right? Higher the risk, what is the principle? Higher the return. Okay. Now let's look at it. The next guy, we call them as risk neutral. Same. Risk neutral. Right? Risk neutral. Right. Let's look at it. What is his character? Now, the risk neutral investor selects the investment with highest expected returns, right? So he may go for higher expected return, right? He does not take into account the risk of investment. Now, is this investment curve is like this? It's a simple line, straight line, right? Higher the risk, higher. It's going like this. Okay, that's a curve. If you want to put the shape straight line curve, you can say the same like what we have done, concave, right? Concave straight line. Just for additional information, with your handout, just put a small diagram, right? Third guy, he is a risk averse. Oh, risk no, right? Risk averse investor would generally choose the guaranteed payment. Now, what is expecting? He need definitely some money. Now, guys, which bank they are going to go? He's going to going for a bank where you definitely get the money back, or they are interest bank, right? And he tend to choose safer investment out of all the investment. Now, if it is the case, now which bank he is usually go? Usually he is going for NSB. Why? NSB's deposits are fully guaranteed by the government, right? So therefore he is going for a bank, right? Therefore his deposits, I mean his basically his diagram is look like what is going to be look like something here. That is what you call convex curve, right? You just put utility and income, just අවතල උත්තල. මතකයිනේ අවතල කියන්නේ convex, concave කියන්නේ මෙහෙම අවතල, උත්තල කියන්නේ උඩ අපට එන්නේ. Right. Okay. Now you need to understand there are three types of investors. Now why we are going to learn all these things? Now you will understand in future when we are going to discuss about financial instrument. What are the type of financial instrument these investors are going to invest? Depend on their risk appetite. Okay. Now, just to summarize what we have learned, these 3 points. Okay. Right. What are the 3 type of customers we can categorize based on their risk appetite? Based on 3, we can categorize risk lover or risk seeker, risk neutral, and risk averse. What are the characteristics of that risk lover? Mean he's going to take additional risk. Therefore, he's expecting high return. Right. Risk neutral mean they are going with the interest. High, if you give interest, they will expect you to invest more. But the risk averse customer, but he's investing the money. Definitely, if he's expecting some guaranteed payment back only, he's going to invest. That customer is called risk averse investor or risk averse customer. Right. Now you got the 3 type of investors. So we are going to discuss those things in later on some questions. Okay. Right. Now what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss some financial products. Some financial products. Okay, some financial products. So 2 financial products. So we call them as government products. So government financial products. That means those are what you call sort of a debt instrument, right? Those are treasury bills and treasury bonds are we call debt instrument, right? But are guaranteed, the payments are guaranteed by the government. Payments are guaranteed by the bonds are guaranteed by the government. So that is the safest of all the investment, as they are default risk free. So therefore we call them as specific name gilt age securities. What are the specific name we call for treasury bills and treasury bond? Gilt age securities. The moment you say gilt age securities, mean 100% risk free, and you are guaranteed your payment and guaranteed by the government of Sri Lanka. There are two types of instruments like here. We call them as treasury bills and treasury bonds, right? And also those instruments are, as I told you, we call them as debt instrument, and basically are tradable securities. What do you mean by a tradable securities? We can sell, do a transactions, do business in secondary market. That is why called tradable securities, right? And who determine the rates, yield, or what you call the rates? Our market is determined the rate. Right. Now let's look at it. Now, if you something can remember to you, little while ago, we discussed three type of investors: risk averse, risk lover, and risk neutral. So this type of product are usually invested by what type of customers? Definitely because of the nature of the product, high, no risk at all, definite guaranteed the payment, who? Risk averse customers, right? Okay, now let's look at it one by one, these financial instrument, right? Okay, what is treasury bills? What is treasury bills? Now the treasury bills are government securities offered by whom? Offered by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka on behalf of government. On behalf of the government, treasury bills are offered by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka to the market, right? So treasury bill, what is the maximum period? The period is 1 year, right? Those are marketable money security. What do you mean by a marketable? So you can have a secondary market on this. So issued in maturities of 91 days, 180 days, 364 days, like 3 months, 2 months, like that. You can get it treasury bill for 91 days, 182 days, and 364 days, right? And these are, we call them as zero coupon securities. What do you mean by a zero coupon securities? What do you mean by a coupon? Coupon is, we are calling for this type of instrument as an interest. What do you mean by zero coupon securities? Meaning that case, no interest at all. What do you mean by that? And sold at a discount to face value, which is paid at maturity. Now, I'll just give an example. Now, say you want to purchase, say for an example, 1,000 face value in your treasury bill. You say value is 1,000 rupees. What do you mean by a sold at discount? Mean a customer going to buy this one, right? You are getting face value is 100,000, but you are getting less than that. That means, say for example, now you are getting 900 rupees. That is why called at a discount. Poliya kalin. Samhara bankut කියන වැඩි කලින් දෙනවා කියන්නේ ඒ වගේ. Now what is zero coupon mean? The securities are sold at a discount to face value, which is paid at maturity. After maturity period, they can get 100,000 rupees for that is treasury bill. But what is the purchasing price? 900 rupees. The difference is the interest, right? Okay, that the difference between the purchase price and the face value is the interest income to the owner, right? Okay, and remember, these are the highly liquid assets and fully guaranteed. That is why I call gilt-edged securities. Okay, now you know the but some characteristics of a treasury bills. Some characteristics of treasury bills. Okay, you know now the characteristics of a treasury bills. Now let's look at it. This question. Can you answer to this question? What may be the answer? Treasury bills are always issued at, what may be the correct answer? A, B, C, D, always issued at a discount. That means, so you don't want to pay the full face value, but you are pay only less than the face value. So that is what you call discount. So the treasury bills are always issued at discount. Okay, I think you got the answer for this. Right, now we are going to look at it. The second set of instrument issued by the central bank behalf of the government of Sri Lanka, we call them as a treasury bond. Now the treasury bill are short term, that means less than 1 year. Treasury bonds are basically medium to long term government securities. So what do you mean by a government security? Fully gilt-edged securities are issued and maturities ranging from 2 to 30 years. 2 to 30 years. And during that, interest-bearing securities. What do you mean by interest-bearing mean? Now we are calling coupon. We are going to get some coupon rate. Interest paid biannually. Every 6 months, you are going to get interest for the treasury bond. Therefore, the customer is getting a regular cash flow of treasury bond. Right? Suppose you buy for 5-year treasury bond. So the investor get it every biannually some coupon rate, some interest rate. And also that also tradable. Right? You can sell it in the secondary market. Right. Now, this is the question. In fact, I was asked you earlier, these questions came from your survey of financial system. Now, I'll give you other people question papers, no? Right. Now, treasury bonds are always issued at, what's the correct answer? This is 2017 March, SFS. What may be the correct answer? Treasury bonds are always issued at, what may be the correct answer? Discount? No. Discount for treasury bills, right? What may be the correct answer? Answer B, coupon rate. Okay, right. Now, I'll give you a small work. Shall we do that? Within having this knowledge, so take a note in your handout or take your piece of paper or maybe in your notebook or whatever books you're going to write certain thing. I'll just give you a small question. Okay, right. Now write down this question. Then you're fully covered, treasury bills and treasury bond. Any question you can answer for any subjects, not only financial clients management, but also for survey or commercial bank also benefit, right? So that is the advantage of doing financial clients management, right? I mean, this course is a little bit of repetitions of things, but it's advantage for you also, right? Now write down this question. Okay, first, name 5 similarities Name 5 similarities. Okay, we just put 5, we put 4 then, right? 4 similarities and differences between treasury bills and treasury bond. Can you do that? Right? Okay, let's put it to the board again. I'll just show. Clear? Right, let's look at it. Now this side you put T bills and T bonds. Okay. Now what's the question is asking? Name similarities. Compare. Similarities. Samanaka. Right. What are the similarities between these two? Can you tell me one? What? Both are what? Both are gilt-edged securities. Okay? Both are gilt-edged securities, fully guaranteed by the government of Sri Lanka. So no problem, you might get the money, capital and the whatever things. What else? Second one. Both are, second one if you say, both are tradable. Alright. So if a question comes like that, you're in a position to answer. Both are tradable. That means you can sell it in the secondary market. Both are tradable. Third similarity, yield. Yield means or the whatever the returns or what you call coupon or discount rate or whatever is determined by whom? Determined by market, by the market. Right? Usually determined by the market. Right? Market. Right. Another similarity. Remember, both can be used as what? As collateral. That means as a security. Right? So you can keep this as a security and get a loan. Right? As security or collateral. Right? Now 4 similarities. No? What is maybe the 5th one? Huh? What is the next similarity here you can just put? Now from 2004 onwards, these 2 bonds are issued scriptless form. Scriptless form. That means no any certificate or anything. We call scriptless. That is no any physical document. Right? These are some. This is start from 2004. Before that, we have a like FD certificate. You have a certificate. Now these are issued at scriptless form. There is a place we call them as a central depository system where these things are electronically recorded. Right? This otherwise you don't know to whom it belongs. No? So these are, even though it's scriptless, but all the information are recorded in the central depository system in a digital form. So these are similarities. Now we understood 5 similarities, right? Okay, what are the differences then? Right, now you can just think what are the differences, right? Think one differences we discussed. Treasury bills are short term, right? Short term, right? What is here? Medium to longer term, right? This is treasury bills are short term, long term. So what is the duration they issued? 91, like that we are issuing. No? Can you remember the dates we issuing for treasury bills? We are issuing 91, 182 and 364 days, right? But here we choose from 2 to 30 years, right? Right. Can you give me another example? It is in the board, right? Treasury bills are always issued at discount. Always T-bonds are issued at coupon, right? Okay, if you want to further, you can say payment because of discount, payment initially, and here when coupon is we are getting biannually. Right. What are the other differences? Some more differences, right? So if you want, there's some more, but not necessarily in your case. These treasury bills comes under separate act. Treasury bond comes under separate act. So forget about that. You don't want to go into such details, right? Right. And therefore we call them as another one we call, if it is the short term, we call money market instrument. Money market instrument. That means duration is less than 1 year. Here we call capital market instrument. Right. I think you get a full idea about what is treasury bills and treasury bond. Okay, so you can help for this information even when you go for DABF. Also, it may be help to you. Right now, you know what is the difference between treasury bills and treasury bond, and also you know the specific characteristics of each and every treasury bills and treasury bond, and what are the similarities and what are the differences. Clear? Have you put down? Okay, I will tell you again if something is missing, just to put down. You put it together. Treasury bill, what is the question? I'll ask you, name the similarities and differences between treasury bills and treasury bonds. Right. Similarities, both are equal. What is that? Both are gilt-edged securities. That means 100% government guaranteed. Right? No risk involved. Both are tradable. You can sell it in the secondary market. And yield is determined by the market. Market is determining your rate. Then both can be used as collateral, as a security. You can put as a security and you can get a loan. Then issued at a scriptless form. That means no physical documents. It is only electronically recorded in the central depository system. Right. Those are some similarities. Differences: short term, medium to long term, 91 days, 183, 60 days, and 2 to 3 years, and discount and coupon, and then paid initially and biannually. And it's a money market instrument, and this is a capital market instrument. Why we call capital market instrument? Because of the long-term nature. Right. Okay. Clear? I hope you understood, right? Treasury bills and treasury bond. Right. Let's look at it. This is, I told you, I always give you other people questions. Now you can see how important knowing all this to answer any. This is questions I quoted from non-bank financial paper. Right. Now in 2019 March, now this has out of the total outstanding government securities, we call government securities stock, the current threshold applicable for foreign investment in treasury bills and treasury bond. Now, can treasury bills and treasury bonds can be purchased by foreigner? Yes, can. But there's a limitation. Now, suppose they have issues 100 million, for an example, you can take only up to certain percentage of that only. Now, say for an example, we can sell treasury bills and treasury bond total value of say 100 million example. how much percentage the foreign investment can take place, and it is only 5%. Only 5%. Why they limited? Because if the people have taken the treasury bonds and try to sell it, to prevent that sort of problems, a money problem faced in the market, right? Only 5%, just for your understanding only, right? Okay. Now, again, the same paper, they ask a party who is authorized to deal with central bank to enter into transaction in government securities. Now, I want to take. Now, me as an investor can go straight away to the central bank and can get these treasury bills and treasury bonds? No. Only treasury bills can be purchased by primary dealer, from the primary dealer. From primary dealer only customers can buy. Remember that. So how many primary dealers in Sri Lanka? Now you know a very famous story, about the primary dealership, You forget now, Perpetual, can you remember? Perpetual treasuries, interest securities. So we have at the moment only 11, 12 primary dealers in Sri Lanka. Okay? And in fact, there are some cancellations of or temporarily suspended the dealing by certain primary dealers, like Pan Asia banks temporarily suspended, and then the perpetual treasuries was not, and they are not supposed to deal anymore, not actively involving in the primary dealer market. Right now, who can buy treasury bills and treasury bond from the central bank? Or primary dealers. From primary dealers only a customer can purchase. Right? Remember that also. Clear? Right? Now what we are discussing now? We are discussing the type of instrument, financial instrument available for investors to invest their money. Right? We need to understand. Okay? Right. Now, having understood that, we are now moving to yet another important things, what you call repurchase agreement. Now, listen to me again carefully, right? Please, again, focus to your board, right? I will explain to you this what is repurchase agreement, right? Repurchase. Now, if you not understood, please just open the chat and just tell me, so I didn't understand, no understood anything. Please repeat it again. I will do. Don't worry. Now, this is another important thing we call repurchase agreement. So, this is very important again, right? For all your main key subjects. Repurchase agreement. Now let's look at what is this. Now let's look at it. What is this? Very simply, right? Okay. Now say person A, right? Person A. One person. Name of the person is A, right? Now he is having, right? He owns some treasury bills and treasury bonds. He owns some treasury bills and owns some treasury bills and treasury bonds. He's having some treasury bills and treasury bonds. Now he won't get some money by giving this. Now he is going to sell this treasury bills and treasury bonds to person B. Right? What person A is trying to do? Sell his T-bills and T-bonds to Mr. B. right? Person is having some treasury bills and treasury bond. He going to sell his treasury bills and treasury bond B, but under some agreement. Under some agreement. What is agreement he is going to sell to him? What is agreement he say? At a price in a future determined date. Now he is telling, now A is telling to B, I am going to sell some treasury bills and treasury bond to you, and I need some money, but I'll pay you, I will get back again the treasury bills and treasury bond in a future date which is agreed by you, maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, like that. And the price, now I am telling you, this is the price I am going to take. Right? ඉස්සරහා ගන්න මෙදා මම තව මාස 3කින් ගන්නවා හරියටම මෙන්න මේ ප්‍රයිස් එක අපි හිතමු ට්‍රෙෂරි බිල් ප්‍රයිස් එක රුපියල් දැන් අපි දෙන්නේ අපි හිතමු 100ක් කියලා යුනිට් එක ඒ 100 මම අපව ගන්නවා එක්තරා ප්‍රයිස් එකකට. Therefore, based on that, he is give what? Cash to the person. Okay? Clear? Understood? Right? So he is usually borrowing the money, giving, because I cannot remember, I told you treasury bills and treasury bonds can be used as securities, collateral. Now he is give that securities to him and he collect the cash. Now you understand cash. So therefore B is called them as who? Who is B? Is sometimes we call them as lender. Now then therefore who is A? Who is going to borrow money from B? We call borrower. So this type of agreement we call them as repurchase agreement. We call them as repurchase agreement. So the difference between what is the difference between selling price? Between selling price, and this is the selling price, and buying price, right? Now he is going to buy later on, no? Is buy price of the security is what you call the difference between this. We call the rate charged by him for his loan. Okay, understood? I hope you understood. So therefore, the difference between the selling price of the security and buyback price of the security is the interest cost. Interest cost means these two difference. So therefore, which one you think is a little higher? Selling price or buying price? Right? So buying price is usually repurchase price is more than selling price. We call them as repurchase price. Sometimes we call them as repo rate. We call them as, this difference is called repo rate. We call them as repo rate. Right? Repo rate. Okay? Right? For the party, selling the price is what you call is a repo rate. So the party on, right, that is what you call the difference between the sale price and the repurchase price is the interest income. Difference between the sales price and the repurchase price. So therefore, repurchase price is always higher, right? Remember, the repurchase price is higher than selling price. Okay, so that is the interest rate the B is going to get it. Okay, that is what you call repurchase agreement. Right, I will try to explain to you again very simply. Right, now person who is having treasury bills and treasury bonds, right, he want to money putting or this giving this as a security another person. He wants some money and therefore he give this his own treasury bills and treasury bond to Mr. B, person B, right, and get some money. Now this is a selling price. For that he will get the money. Say suppose he say 100,000 rupees worth of treasury bills he is going to give to him, and he, this is the price, say his price is this, right, he get the money of 100,000 at the rate, say for an example. Now, and once he give this money back, the second one, what happened? After agreed period, agreed price, he will give the money back or cash back to B and collect what? Collect back the what? Treasury bills and all. What? At the agreed price and agreed future rate, date. Sorry, date. Right? He give the money back and get the this one. Right? What rate? That is the rate. That is what you call the repurchase rate. Now, he is purchased, right, from him, and A is repurchased from B at the later date. The difference between these two rates, selling rate and the repurchase rate, is called as a repo rate. I hope you understood. Right? Suppose this phenomena taking place in the other way around, we call them as, if suppose the B give the he want to get some treasury bills, and that is what you call a reverse repo, the other opposite side of that the same transaction. I hope you understood. Right? Repurchase agreement. So therefore we call them as B is a lender, person A is the borrower. Right. I hope you put down this figure, this diagram in your note. Right? Clear? This is the first one, right? That you will understand. Person, again I am telling, person A have some treasury bills and treasury bonds. He wants some money. So therefore he sent his treasury bills and treasury bond to person B. He keep his treasury bills and treasury bond with him and gives some money. But under some agreement only he is selling to B. What is the agreement? He is going to buy back his treasury bills and treasury bond at a price agreed by now A, and also future date. I'm going to take back what you gave me. I take my security back date. So for that date, he has to give his money back to him and collect the documents, the securities, right? And selling price is the money is given here. When you're going to buy, that price we call repurchase price. That rate we call them as repo rate. Okay, I hope you understood all this thing. Right, now let's anybody want to clarify again, or you understood? Right, so keep your silence mean I heard you understood, right? Okay, right. So now, again, I'll ask you a question. Now, this is SFS question. Now, see, I'm telling other people areas. No, it is also, we also need to know all these things. Why I'm telling you, I will show you some of the question appeared in class management as well. Now, this is SFS mean Survey of Financial System question. Now, you know the answer. Therefore, what is asking, report transaction. Now this one we call the report transaction, or sometimes we call repurchase transaction, right? Report transaction. Now report transaction is done. Who is A? Who is B? He gives the treasury bills and treasury bond to B and collects some money. So A is there for who? He is a borrower. B is what? Lender. So therefore, report transaction is a what? Borrowing. A is borrowing the money from B. So B is a lender, A is a borrower. Right? Clear? So what may be the answer therefore for report transaction is a borrowing. Report transaction is a borrowing. Now I told you the opposite side of this we call reverse repo. We call them as reverse repo. So therefore, reverse repo opposite is, if you ask you the same question, is what? Therefore, reverse repo transaction is whatever. It is a borrowing or lending. He is lending. So therefore, opposite of the repo transaction, that means the reverse repo means it is a lending transaction. It's a lending because rather than A, now B is giving money to him. And he needs some treasury bills. He gives the money to him. Right? Now you know the difference between, right, repo transactions and reverse repo transaction. Clear? Right? I hope you have written this one. Okay. Right. Now it is the finances client management paper. This paper, these questions appeared in 2018 September. Right? Question number 8. Now you look at the question. Banks and financial institutions introduce various financial service products to cater to financial needs of different segment of the public. Right? Okay, this is investors. Banks are selling their product because some banks are, remember, some banks are primary dealers also. Right? So banks can sell the treasury bills and treasury bond on the secondary market, right? Who is the first market? Who is the buyer? Initial buyer is the primary dealers. From the primary dealers only we are selling. That is why we call treasury bills and treasury bond also can be tradable, and where we having the secondary market. What is the primary market? Between the bank, between the primary dealer and the central bank. Okay, right now they are seeing write short notes on the following. Repurchase agreement. So then what you need to write for the repurchase agreement, right? Now, if you can draw this is better. Now, what you need to tell under repurchase agreement, and this is repurchase agreements are arrangement which involve the sale for cash, sale for cash, right? Cash or securities, usually government security at a specified price, right? At a specified price with a commitment to repurchase the price at the particular future date, right? And if you can draw this one, you get a clear picture, right? So the difference between the selling price and the repurchase price is the interest income to the lender. Right? So that rate is we call them as the repo rate. That is we call a repurchase agreement. Okay? Right? Just so simple as that. Okay. I hope you understood the repurchase agreement. Hopefully, it may be little difficult, but I try to explain to you what is repurchase agreement, because now you see in our clients management, they are asking repurchase agreement. Okay, now let's look at it with this small note. before further we are moving to the next section, right? I'll now summarize something, right? Okay, now let's look at it. This past question appeared in financial clients management. Now, before that, I try to summarize for benefit of you. What we have learned up to now, we discuss. First, we discuss what is annual effective interest rate and normal annual interest rate, annual effective rates and rate. So we discuss what is the difference, and then we discuss there are we move into the investors, and there we identify there are three type of investors. Who are the three type of investors? Who? Risk lover or risk seeker, risk neutral, and what? Risk averse. Now you know the difference between these three people, type of people, right? And then we discuss some financial products. Those are not risk at all. What are the basic three financial products we learned? Treasury bills, treasury bond, and repurchase, right? Repurchase agreements. These are some highly gilt-edged securities. That means, so definitely the investor who invests the money is definitely is going to get the returns and the capital without having any problem. That is why we call treasury bills and treasury bonds are gilt-edged securities, 100% government guarantees. Then we discuss what are the characteristics of treasury bills and what are the characteristics of treasury bond, and further we discuss what the similarities of these two products and the differences of these products. Right? And we further discuss what you mean by a repurchase agreement. It is also an instrument, right? So we discussed three types of 100% gilt-edged instrument, financial instrument: treasury bill up to now, treasury bond, and repurchase agreement. Now, having understood that, let's look at it. The September 2015 question, right? It is a 2-mark question. Now remember, I want to tell you this also. Now, why we learn all these things? First, we discuss what are the type of customer or what are the type of investor. What are their characteristics? Based on their characteristics, whether he is a risk taker, whether he is a risk averse, neutral, the products he is going to buy from the financial market is varying. Got it? Products is vary. I told you the risk averse customer always going for definite guaranteed products. So what is the ideal product for him then? All these gilt-edged securities. Right. Now try to answer this question. I'll give you a few minutes. Just think and think yourself. Now if you're presently here in the classroom, I can ask everybody from you all to what is maybe the correct answer, but now I can't. I can see you, but then I have to stop and call again, unmute, mute, all problem. No, now do it yourself. Now with the up to now with your knowledge you have gathered, what may be the correct answer for these questions that was appeared in 2015. Now what you need to know, you identify what is the type of customer and what is the type of product is more identified for this type of customers. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. Now just go through this question and think yourself what may be the answer. What may be the answer? Then I will explain little more. Okay, just think what may be the answer. Now you know what is treasury bill, you know what is repo, you know what is normal deposit, you know what is prepos and all sort of things. Okay, right, right, clear. I hope you have selected the correct answer. Now we go by one, right? Risk averse customer. Now who who is a risk averse? What are the characteristics of a risk averse customer? He is not going to take unwanted risk. He expect if you invest the money, he definitely is going to get the money back or with some interest or some return. That is the nature of the risk averse customer. Right. Now, he said he is going to put the money, deposit money in a long-term fixed deposit. That's only they talk. He's going to put the money in the deposit money in a long-term fixed deposit. He's not mentioned, he's not going to put where. It's sort of term deposits. So what is the guarantee? Unless otherwise, if you say he is going to deposit the money in a long-term fixed deposit in National Savings Bank, yes. But he has not mentioned any place, any bank. They mentioned deposit in a long-term fixed deposit. So there's always risk. Bank can collapse. Right? It's not 100% guiltage, no? This is not the correct answer, therefore. Then, second one. Moves deposit across banks by analyze interest changes. What is telling? He is telling he is going to check what are the interest rate given by different banks and different people, different institutions, and he is going to deposit the money on this. Same thing like that. We don't know. Yeah, he may get that higher rate from one bank. He may get little more higher rate than bank A than bank B, but still there is a risk for him. Why? The money not getting. Same, no? Therefore, A and B are almost same. Then we are moving to the C. Deposit raise money in floating interest rate deposit. Now, what is floating interest rate? You need to understand what you mean by floating interest rate. Now, if you look at it these today in your bank also, a lot of credits are given based on floating interest rate. That means floating interest means depend on the market rate. If the market rate is going up, what happened? Floating interest rate, not good or bad. For a deposit product, good. Hey, market rate is going to go up. Your deposit interest rate also going to go up. Good. Market rate is also going to come down. Your deposit rate also going to come down. Now you need to analyze what is the trend today. Whether it is a growing interest of deposits or going down. Now if you really look at the today's market, interest rates are now at going down trend. No. Now central bank has given some restriction not to improve interest rate, right? I think you are maybe learning in some other class, either commercial banking or survey, what you call standard deposit facility rate and SDFR and SDLR, standing deposit lending rate and standing deposit standing lending facility rate, SDR and deposit rate. Right, you are learning in some trade. Now that is coming down, so therefore it's not a good thing, right? And always is if the risk lover, he may look at it this type of products, risk lover, not risk averse. So therefore he's definitely going for what type of business? He's going for invest money in treasury bond and repos. What is treasury bond repos mean? Just while ago we discussed treasury bills and treasury bond. Because definitely you are going to get the money. By treasury bills, treasury bond, repos. If you don't worry about the repos, this is the one. So we learned three types of gilt-edged securities, no? Treasury bills, treasury bond, and repos. Right. So what may be the answer? Is therefore our correct answer is D. Investing money in treasury bonds, repos, because he wants the money 100% guaranteed. So treasury bill, bond, repos are what? Gilt-edged securities. Right. Now you look at it. March 2018 is more simple than earlier question. No. September 2000. That's straightforward. What may be the answer? Again, the risk-averse customer invest money in very simple now. Same question almost, no? Instead of repos, they are asking what? Treasury bond. So therefore, correct answer for this is treasury bond. He may put again, instead of treasury bond, now you can put treasury bills, right? Earlier question, they put repos. That means repurchase. Now this question, they put treasury bond. Another question come, maybe they can ask treasury bill. So what is the risk averse customer is always investing guaranteed or gilted securities. So that is a treasury. Okay, right. Now we are moving to next type of financial instrument. Next type of financial instrument, and that is what you call stock. In your handout, there is a small need to be adjustment to be done. Please adjust certain words overlapping, so you correct it one, right? And put a tag, put a marks like this. Okay, stock is a share in the ownership of a company. Stock means your share market. That means you are an ownership of the company. It's called a stock. Now there are basically two types of stocks. I am not going to explain you more detail, right? And two types of stock. One is common stock. The most people purchase, and the returns you are getting in form of what? Dividends, right? Now suppose a person, an investor, want to invest money in a stock market, right? Common stock. He want to buy some common stock. So what is the income for them? There are two types of income. Now for investor, he want to invest their money for stock to purchase shares. So what are the income he's going to get it? Two types. What are the first income? Dividends. What is the first income? Dividends. What is the second income he's going to get it? Can anybody think? That is what you call capital gain. Capital gain. What do you mean by a capital gain? Right? Okay, capital gain means, now say for an example, you buy some shares from the share market, say one share equal to 100 rupees. For an example, one share equal to 100 rupees. Example. Now, in the stock market, right, you want to sell these shares. Then share price of your company who purchased the shares now is going from 100 to 110 rupees per share. So what is the extra gain you are going to get for your investments of 100? Now how much of you are getting? 110. So what is the difference? 10 rupee per share. So that is what you call capital gain. So therefore, an investor who is going to invest in the stock market, stock is a financial instrument. Shares is a financial instrument, remember, right? So what are the income he's going to get? One is dividends. Second one, capital gains. Right. Now, if a person is having a common stock or the shares, right, he is only getting the dividends provided that the organization, that particular shares, is earning profits only. If not a profit earning company, you invested the money, so you won't get the dividends. But there's another type of stocks we call preference shares, the preferred stock. Only difference is this between the normal stock and the preference shares. In the preference shares, for you don't have a voting right. But normal common stock, you have the voting right. But investors are guaranteed a fixed dividend. That's another difference. Now, Now you need to learn the difference between, okay, if you put again like the treasury bills and treasury bond, you learn, you put difference between common stock versus preference shares, preference stock shares. What is the difference? First difference is, right? What is the first difference? Okay, common stock have the voting right. Common stock had the voting right. Preference stocks not having the voting right. Common stocks, dividends you are going to get, provided that dividends you are going to get, provided that the organization, the company is earning profits, only you are going to get the dividend. But as far as the preferential stock or preference shares are discussing, they are guaranteed a fixed dividend whether the organization earning profit or not. That's the difference. Right. Now think about investor. Now we have a three type of investor. No? Out of these two type of stocks, suppose a risk averse customer going to invest money, what type of instruments, what type of stock he is going to buy? Sorry, common stock or preference stock? Is definitely going to buy preference stock, because why? Definitely he have some guaranteed dividends, right? If the risk lower, he may go for common stock, but the profits or the dividends may be next year may be high than guaranteed fixed dividend. So he's getting more than guaranteed fixed dividend amount. The guy who is having the preference stock, if the company is doing well, he may get a lot of more dividends. So the risky or risk lower investor may buy common stock, but risk averse customer going to buy the preferred stock. Remember, stock also basically we call them as a financial instrument. Now we learn. Now we are slowly we are learning financial instrument. The investor referred to purchase. Okay, we up to now we learned treasury bill, treasury bond, and repurchase agreements. Now we are just learned stock. What are the income or what are the returns to the investor of investing money in stock? One is dividends, other one is capital gains. Now I told you what you mean by a capital gain. Clear? Right. Having understood that, now we are going to discuss another type of instrument the investors going to invest. We call them as corporate bonds. Sometimes we call them as a debentures. We call them as a debentures, right? Okay, it's a debt instrument, right? We call them as investors are willing to go for this, right? Now, what is corporate debentures? It is in your handout, is mentioning. Corporate debentures are, we call them as what? Are securities issued by a company or a or organization getting a loan capital on a definite rate of interest or definite period of time, right? Okay, so in order to get a some money to the organization, so these are issued by some companies to investors go and purchase. What is the return they are going to get it? They are going to get it interest, or sometimes we call coupon rate, right? Corporate debentures are issued by sometimes you can see a lot of papers are big article are there. Thank you very much. We are oversubscribed and things like that, right? Debentures. So what are the characteristics of a debenture? In your handout, you can just put what is the characteristic of a debenture. How it depend? It depends on the issuer. Depend on the credibility of the issuer. Who is going to issue? Right? So I am going to issue. Now, investor must understand caliber of that person who is going to issue the debenture. I can trust that fellow, or I can trust that company who are issuing debentures. Why the organization are issuing debentures? They want some money. Stock also like that. Why stocks are issuing? To get the capital. Likewise, if you want to get the capital, there is a corporate debentures are there. So corporate mean the companies are issuing debentures. Usually debentures are, remember, second point you can say, second, debentures are depend on the first point, debentures are depend on the issuer, right? His credit worthiness. Issue කරන එක්කෙනාගේ ස්වභාවය, credit worthiness, right? Issuer. Second one, debentures are usually longer term, not 1 year, usually more than 1 year, maybe 3 years, 5 years, like that, 10 years, like maximum 10 years, right? Now today's concern is go up to 3 to 5 years, right? Corporate debentures are long term. So therefore, because of the long term, we call them as another name for them. Those are what type of instrument? Capital market instrument, right? It is not a money market instrument. Money market instrument means less than 1 year. This is more than 1 year, therefore it is called the best capital market instrument. Can you remember another capital market instrument? What is that? We have learned that is what? Treasury bond. Treasury bond, capital market. Here the debenture here, you may agree with again some fixed rate of interest, that is usually we call them as coupon rate. Likewise, it can be paid annually, maybe semi-annually. It depends on the type of debenture. But remember the treasury bond, of course, biannually. But this type of debenture, the interest can be paid by the monthly, by the annually or semi-annually, like this. Okay. Now, sometimes I want to put you on other points here. Debentures, you can get a rating for debentures. Now, what do you mean by a rating for debentures? Mean it's a say rating mean it's a 3 plus or triple A rated. That means definitely you are going to get the money back. That ratings give you some added value to build up the confidence of the investors to purchase these debentures from those issuers. Now I told you the some of the characteristics of a debenture. It is usually a long term. It's a capital market instrument. It's depend on the person who's going to issue it. Usually consists of coupon rate to be paid by biannually or annually, right? Can some debentures are tradable in the stock market, some are not, like that. There are so many characteristics for a debenture, and also issuer want to get some rating, you can get the rating for the debentures as well, right? Now, why issue debentures are issuing? For they want some money, they want some capital. Like why some company issue shares. Likewise, these are issues by then when you are compared with debenture and treasury bond, these are maybe not 100%. There's a risk. These are not giltage, right? There may be a different type of debentures, right? There may be secured debentures as well, but there is a risk always, not 100% free of risk. So when you are compared with the long-term capital market instrument between treasury bond and corporate debenture, who is buying treasury bonds? More risk-averse customer. But maybe debentures may be having little more interest coupon rate than treasury bond. So therefore, risk customer, I mean the risk lover, may go in for this. Because why? They are giving little high interest rate than treasury bond. But risk averse guy not going to go for this. They usually they are going for treasury bond. Right? Now, I think you now understood what you mean by a corporate debenture is a financial instrument. Right. Then we need to understand another type of financial instrument. So that is what you call commercial papers. We call them as commercial papers. What do you mean by a commercial paper? Right? Commercial paper are short term. Right? It may be secured or unsecured issued. Again, these issued by some private sector companies. If they want to, if they want quick money, I mean, quick money, so they are issuing commercial paper. Usually, commercial paper time duration is normally for 9 months, right? So, in that sense, right? Some CPs are usually sold at discount. You can remember another instrument we selected discount is what? But some are not all. Not all commercial papers are selling at discount. Some are having interest bearing. End of the maturity, they pay you interest. But there are some commercial papers paid at a discount, sold at a discount. Another instrument you will remember selling at a discount is what you call treasury bills. Right. So what is the similarities between commercial paper and a treasury bills? Similarity, both are, remember, money market instrument. Money market instrument. What do you mean by a money market instrument? The duration, those are short-term money market instrument, financial instrument, less than 1 year. That is how it's similar with treasury bills. Sorry, but what is the difference? Again, the treasury bills are 100% government guaranteed, gilted, but commercial papers are not guaranteed. Right? That's the risk. Right? If an organization want to earn quick money, so they may issue commercial papers. But mind you, in Sri Lanka, we don't have a much market for this type of instrument. Right? Okay, now you know what are the commercial paper. So what are the advantages of commercial paper? As I talked to you, if they want quick money, so we need to spend issue commercial paper. But remember, the commercial paper, because of the richness, what happened? We have to pay higher rates. Right? Organization need to pay higher. Then investors maybe purchase these commercial papers. Again, look at it, the credit worthiness of the issuer, like debenture. Right? Because why we are going to spend money, buy this money, we are expecting my capital and the interest later on. If that organization collapse, we are not going to get anything. So therefore, all depend on the issue. Who is going to issue? And remember, it's a money market instrument. Okay, now again I'm telling you commercial banking question, right? Okay, now this question is appeared in Commercial Banking, September 2017. Which of the following is a short-term financial instrument? I think you can answer, no? What is the answer out of this? Which of the following is a short-term financial instrument? Treasury bond, long-term, shares, long-term, debenture, long-term. So what is the short-term? Commercial paper. Answer is commercial. Instead of commercial paper, what you can put as a substitute to that? Instead of commercial paper, you can put treasury bills. Then the same answer. Okay, commercial paper. Right. Now we are slowly, now we are going to learn some papers. Right. Another questions. And now these questions appeared in 2017 March paper. That is financial client management question. Right. Now you look at it. A person. Now look at the question. Most secured product. What do you mean by a more secure product? Mean usually risk-free product that could be recommended. that could be recommended for customer to invest his retirement fund. Now, a retirement fund, a customer, he may have, now say he worked for organization for maybe 20 years, 30 years or 50 years. A particular customer, right? He worked for particular organization, right? Work for maybe 20 years. Now he's going to retire once he reaches 60 years old, right? Usually, every person must get some retirement benefit. What is the usual retirement fund? We call them as what? Superannuation fund or superannuation fund. That is what? Two things. One is ETF and EPF. Those are we call superannuation fund. EPF and ETF. Usually EPF is more than ETF, right? Now these are the retirement funds. That is only money he is going to get. Hereafter, he is not going to get money funds like this. No, why? He is not going, if unless otherwise he is going to work. This is the money he is going to be with them for a next 10 or 15 or 20 years or whatever the period he is going to stay. Right? Okay. So now that is only money he is having. Now that's only money he, as a retirement person, he is not going to invest this money in a what? Definitely this customer is what type of customer? Whether he's a risk lover, whether he's a risk taker, or whether he's a risk averse customer or risk neutral customer. And this is only money he's going to get it. No money comes. Therefore, the retired person is usually behave like a what? Risk averse. So therefore, now you need to understand the words most secure product, right? Most secure product that could be recommended for a customer, right? You are going to recommend to a customer to invest his money. What money? His retirement money. He may get little money, right? Maybe 5 million or 5 billion. So therefore, he is going to not to pay around with his final money. Therefore, he's look at it, most secure product, right? So out of these four, right, what may be the most secure product for him? Shares. You know, we little while ago we discussed shares. Depend on the organization profits. Only they are getting into dividends. No, if the organization is not going to get the having any profits, so he's not going to get anything. So he's not going to invest his money to shares. No, right? Then corporate debenture. We'll take for an example. Corporate debenture, not bad. But sometimes we don't know the person, corporate issue, debentures, sometimes you may not in a position to get the money back. Not 100% sure. And fixed deposit. Also, we don't know which bank is going to put. That bank may collapse. That financial institution is going to put this money, maybe collapse. Now, you know what happened to the finance? No, like that. Right? Why? Lot of parents put their money in the finance because in order to get a higher return. So what happened now? Right? So therefore, if for product like this, out of all, we are always going for what? Gilt-edged securities. So therefore, answer is A, Treasury bills. We need to match the characteristic of an investor, whether risk lover, risk averse also, and to match product ideal for him. Okay, right. A similar question. The most prudent investment for provident money of a retired person. Now you see the same thing, no? Instead of now he's a retired person. He's prudent investment. Vichakshana Seeli lesa po ayojane karanya. Vichakshana Seeli, prudent investment. Again, like what? Again, now this time it's not treasury bills and also treasury bond. Answer is treasury bond. I think you will definitely get the answer. Right. And again 2015. Now you see all the questions are almost similar, right? So this time they asked the most appropriate investment product for senior citizen. Now you have to understand who is senior citizen. The senior citizen also, not all senior citizens going to take risk, right? Senior citizen mean like retired person, right? Therefore, he also had the same characteristics. What are the characteristics? Risk averse. We need to assume he's a risk averse customer. So, what is the instrument he's going to put it again? Detailed securities called Treasury. I think you understood all these things I just gave, right? Then we need to understand the next financial instruments. So I don't want to explain much more details on this, but try to understand what are these financial instruments. These are we call financial derivatives, Vyutpan, right? So I just briefly touch on this, but you don't want to more details on this. You may learn all these things in your survey or commercial banking in details, but I want to just briefly touch. So what do you mean by financial derivatives? So derivatives are highly complex, high risk instrument, highly complex, high risk instrument, right? Derivative mean you are put something based on that, right? Derivatives are put something base, some base. Now say for an example for financial derivatives are basically we can say there are two types of financial derivatives are operating in a two type of markets. One is over the counter markets, some markets are exchange markets. Now the financial derivatives are selling over the counter as well as some exchanges. Now for an example, over the counter markets mean a telephone, a computer link networks of dealers, right? You can get the financial transaction done through over the counter by calling and get the transaction. But sometimes you may get a financial derivatives from a certain standardized contracts through exchanges, right? So therefore you need to understand financial derivatives are selling at over the counter as well as through exchange, right? Now that's very simple. I just want to explain to you. There are financial derivatives are selling at over the counter and exchange. And let's look at it very simply, type of financial derivatives. Type of financial derivatives. First type of financial derivative, that means the first type of derivative financial instruments, we call them as forward contract, right? What is forward contract? And it is an agreement between two parties to buy or sell an asset at a certain future time for a certain price. So therefore forward contract, very simple. So that can be traded through over the counter through some between two financial institution or between financial institution or client. Right now, forward contracts are basically we are going for a basically foreign exchange, right? Forward contract. Now, say for an example, you want to import some goods, so you want to export some goods, right? Now you go to the bank. You are going to get say 100 US dollars, maybe 100 US dollars, 3 months time. 3 months time you are going to get a 100 US dollars, right? Now you want to fix a price for that. You want to fix a price. So now say today is maybe 100 rupees. It can come down or can go up. So what that customer is going to do? He going to have a contract with bank. Okay, in 3 years time, when this money comes to me, what is the money you are going to give me? She'll exchange money. right? Whether 200 rupees, maybe 200, 190 rupees, like that. So thereby you are trying to protect your risk, right? By entering to the forward contracts, especially the importers and exporters are involving in this type of contracts, right? Especially for foreign exchange, in order to control the exchange risk, the customers are enter into forward contracts. Those are financial derivatives instruments, right? And these are another similar type of contracts. We call them as future contracts, right? Now remember, the future contracts are usually traded on exchange, right? And there's some standardized method of enter into the future contract, right? What forward contracts are over the counter, very simple, but future contracts are similar to this, but you have to have a standardized approach, right? The second type. Then you have options, another type of derivatives of financial instrument. Options can be selling over the counter or exchange, both ways, right? There's a call options and put options, right? So call options mean give the holder right to buy back. I mean, he has given the options whether to enter into a contract or not to enter into a contract, right? You can leave from that contract. So that is what you call options. Now I be with the contract, and I noted I want to uh, I want to cancel this contract. So that is optional. That is called options. That means I can go out from that contract. For that, when you're going to out, you have to pay some premium to that organization. That is what you call options. Now we have learned basically three types of derivatives. What you call forward, then we discuss future and options. These are the three types of financial derivatives. Those are highly risk derivatives. And there's another type of derivatives, we call them complex financial instruments, we call structured finance. We call them as structured finance. And remember, that is very, very risky but high return, high risk product, structured finance, right? Structured finance. I'll give you a classic example for structured finance. We call them as, you must be knowing, securitization. We call asset-backed securities. Asset-backed securities. Now, I just want to tell you something. These products are very difficult to understand, very complex, therefore high risk product, but high return. Now, who are the type of customers are going to buy this product? Risk level. Why they want to get high return? They going for high risk products, like highly complex, high products, right? According to the financial crisis, right? I think you will learn financial crisis, which took place in 2000, 2008, 2007, 2008, right? So during that time, this product is very much highly saleable at that time. And somebody told one of the reasons for financial crisis, out of many reasons, one of the reasons why the financial crisis took place 2007 and 2008, because of this type of products are very much high in that time. And these products are difficult to understand, so therefore difficult to having high risk. So what is asset-backed securities is basically we are selling receivables. We are selling receivables. Now say for an example, Mr. X, right? Mr. X is due some money to me. Say Mr. X is 100,000 is due to me. So what I am trying to do now, under asset-backed securities or structured finance, I am going to sell the receivable from him, Mr. X, to Mr. Y, expecting this money is going to come to me. I'm going to sell it to him. Suppose if that money is not come to me, I have a big problem, right? So those are the specific, very simple way of features of this asset-backed securities. Are basically is very risky but high return. Okay, right. Then we have another financial instrument. I think some of you will be knowing. We have unit trust in Sri Lanka. We have 14 companies who selling unit trust, and at the moment it's not 128. Is basically is at the moment is around 104 billion assets and not 79 units. So you deduct you remove the 79 and you say we have around 71 unit trust type of instruments, 71 not 79, right? And we have around 46,000 customers. So there's a huge customers who purchase unit trust, right? Okay, now we are going to learn little bit of unit trust. Now what is the unit trust? Is financial instrument. Now these are the financial instrument people are going to buy. In Sri Lanka we have 40 unit trust companies, right? Okay, unit trust is a collective investment. Now that means there's a company, you invested their money like stocks there, right? And small money, there's a company who collect all these small units and build up the larger fund, and this large fund are invested in different places like treasury bills. They buy treasury bills, treasury bonds, and things like that. And the return or the income generated from this large pool of money, that money is passing out to all these unit holders, right? Okay, that's not maximum unit price value is, what is the minimum price? 10 rupee. 10 rupee units you can buy. Suppose if you have some money, if you don't want to buy, put there in a deposit, if you want to invest there in the stock market, but you can go to the unit trust company and tell, I have some money, I want to take some trust. So they will give you some worth of say 10 rupee worth of 100,000. So they are called 1 lakh unit trust, and they pool. There are some people like small unit trust customers. They pool it all their money and create an investment fund and invest it in different places, treasury bills, treasury bonds, some other debentures and things like that, and earn high yield. And from that yield, they give some money to their customers, investors, right? Accordingly, the unit trust is basically having three type of parties involving. It is created under trust deed. There are three parties are involving. One is the trustee, right? Trustee is the body who is looking after these things are happening correctly or not. Second guy, fund management company. That is the company who sell your trust or take the money and issue a trust, and then invested in different instruments or invest in different places and get the money. And unit holders are the investors, the people who invest that money in that company. There are three parties. Now, who is the trustee? He will see whether fund management company are investing the investors' money in a proper manner. Right? It's a body, right? Individual body. These are the three parties. So if I ask you, what are the advantages? What are the advantages for investing investing trust, unit trust? What are the advantage of investors to investing their money in unit trust? One point, remember, if you have a place, please write down this. What are the advantages for investor? What are the income for the investor, right? One is dividends, right? Dividends and capital gains, because they can sell their unit trust at a higher rate. So first one is dividends and the capital gains. Like what? Yeah, like stock. Second, next Sunday rather, we'll explain about the unit trust again. And please read your questions. I'm not in a position to test it with you because line was not there, and therefore I will come back to you on next Sunday, and we will discuss from this point on. Please read the handouts. Thank you.